A $3 billion deal just collapsed, and buried in the wreckage is a signal most people completely missed. OpenAI was ready to pay 75 times revenue for a coding startup called Windsurf. 75 times. That is not an acquisition price. That is a panic price. And when the deal fell apart, when Microsoft blocked it and Google swooped in to poach the talent, it revealed something that matters far more than any single acquisition. The companies building AI have already decided what happens to software engineering as a profession. They are not debating it. They are not studying it. They are actively building the systems that replace it. And the timeline they are working with is not a decade. It is 24 months. Welcome back to Zero Index. Let me tell you what actually happened here, because the surface story obscures the real one. OpenAI announced they were acquiring Windsurf for $3 billion. Windsurf makes an AI-native code editor, basically a development environment where AI is not bolted on as an assistant but woven into the core of how you write software. They had maybe $40 million in annual revenue. So OpenAI was willing to pay 75 times that number. Which tells you exactly how desperate they were. Then Microsoft said no. Microsoft has poured billions into OpenAI. They own a significant stake. They have certain rights over intellectual property. And here is the uncomfortable part, Microsoft also owns GitHub Copilot, which competes directly with Windsurf. So when OpenAI tried to buy their way into the coding tools market, their biggest investor and partner blocked it to protect a competing product. This is the tension nobody wants to talk about. OpenAI and Microsoft are supposedly aligned, but when it comes to who controls the future of how software gets written, they are competitors. And Microsoft won that round. But that is not where the story ends. Google paid $2.4 billion, not to acquire Windsurf, but just to license some of their technology and hire key leaders. No ownership stake. No control. Just access to the talent and the tech. Meanwhile, a company called Cognition picked up the actual product and brand. So the original deal collapsed, the pieces scattered to 3 different buyers, and Google walked away with the people who actually built the thing. And I will come back to why that matters in a moment, because there is something about Google's move here that changes how you should think about the entire AI coding landscape. Here is what most people still do not understand. We have already crossed a threshold that cannot be uncrossed. Over 80% of professional developers now use AI tools in some part of their workflow. Not experimenting with them. Not trying them occasionally. Using them daily for code generation, debugging, automation, testing. The adoption curve was supposed to be gradual. It was not. It went near vertical in the last 18 months. And here is the number that actually matters. As of early 2026, the share of AI-generated code has surged to nearly 50%. Half. Half of the code being written is not being written by humans. And adoption curves are steepening faster than anyone projected. I want to be precise about this because most people miss it. This is not a prediction about what might happen. This is a measurement of what is already happening. Right now. In production codebases at real companies. Inside OpenAI itself, 95% of their developers use Codex daily. Those developers submit roughly 60% more pull requests per week than they did before. Not 10% more. Not 20% more. 60% more. Same team, same headcount, 60% more output. Cisco has 18,000 engineers using Codex for complex migrations and code reviews. They have cut their code review time in half. So let me ask you something uncomfortable. If the same number of developers can suddenly produce 60% more output, what happens to the companies that employ developers? Do they celebrate and keep everyone? Or do they start asking a different question? There is a projection circulating in tech leadership circles that I keep hearing versions of. I finally tracked down the clearest articulation of it. A 50-person engineering department in 2023 will likely become a 15-person department in 2027. That is a 70% reduction in headcount. But here is the part that makes it strange: those 15 people will be twice as productive as the original 50, and they will be paid significantly more. So the total output goes up. The quality probably goes up. The cost per feature goes down. And 35 people no longer have those jobs. This is not a dystopian fantasy. This is basic math that every CFO in Silicon Valley is already running. If AI tools let one engineer do the work of 3, and you need the same amount of work done, you do not need 3 engineers anymore. But there is a third dimension to this that took me a while to understand. It is not just about raw productivity. It is about what the remaining engineers actually do with their time. Here is where it gets uncomfortable. The primary job of a human engineer in 2027 is not writing code. It is reviewing code, auditing it, judging the AI's output rather than typing it yourself. Think about what that actually means for the nature of the work. You go from being a creator to being a critic. From building systems to evaluating whether the systems an AI built are correct, secure, efficient, and aligned with what the business actually needs. Some people hear this and feel relieved. Finally, I don't have to do the tedious parts. But I think most engineers, if they are honest, will tell you something different. The tedious parts were actually the craft. The debugging, the iteration, the slow refinement, that was the thing that made you good. That was where intuition developed. Now I need to stop here because most people get this completely wrong. The engineers who survive this transition are not the ones who write the best code. They are the ones who work at the interface between technology and business. Technical product managers, engineering leads, solution architects. People whose job is translating between human intent and technical execution. Why? Because AI cannot access organizational knowledge. It does not know why this particular feature matters more than that one. It does not understand the political dynamics between the product team and the sales team. It cannot sit in a room with a frustrated executive and figure out what they actually need versus what they are asking for. The judgment layer, the layer that decides what should be built and why, that is far more resilient than the execution layer. Now let me close the loop on something I mentioned earlier. Google paid $2.4 billion just to license Windsurf technology and hire their key people. No ownership. No control. Just access. And this is the tell that reveals the entire strategy. Google is not trying to own the AI coding market through products. They are trying to own it through talent. They understand that the people who know how to build these tools are more valuable than any single tool. Because the tools are changing so fast that today's $3 billion acquisition becomes tomorrow's legacy system. Microsoft blocked OpenAI because they wanted to protect GitHub Copilot. But GitHub Copilot is a product. Products get disrupted. Google skipped the product entirely and went straight for the people who know how to build what comes next. This is also why the $3 billion price tag made sense to OpenAI even at 75 times revenue. They were not buying Windsurf's current revenue. They were buying optionality on the future of how software gets made. They were buying engineers who understand how to integrate AI into development workflows at a deep level. And when that deal collapsed, that optionality scattered. Some went to Google. Some went to Cognition. Some stayed independent. OpenAI is still the leader in foundation models. But in the specific market of AI coding tools, the market projected to hit $28 billion by 2027, they just lost significant ground. So here is the question that actually matters. If you write software for a living, or you manage people who do, or you are thinking about learning, what do you do with this information? I am going to be direct. Learning to write code from scratch in 2025 is like learning calligraphy in 1995. It is not useless. There is value in understanding fundamentals. But if you think the skill itself will sustain a career, you are optimizing for a world that is disappearing. The skill that matters now is judgment. Can you look at AI-generated code and know whether it is good? Can you understand a complex system well enough to direct an AI through it? Can you translate between what a business needs and what a technical system should do? Those skills compound. Pure coding skills are being commoditized in real time. And there is a window here that will not last. The transition between mostly human coding and mostly AI coding is happening over roughly 24 months. During that window, people who understand both worlds, who can work with AI tools and also understand the underlying systems, those people are extraordinarily valuable. After the window closes, the leverage disappears. The question is not whether this transition happens. The deal that just collapsed proves everyone is betting on it. The question is whether you are positioned for the 15 who stay or the 35 who leave. If this is the kind of analysis that helps you think about what is actually coming, hit subscribe. More soon.